What's going on, guys? Seancutshair back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys the difference between taper blades, fade blades, and we'll even talk about the fusion blade. All right, guys, so if you watch a lot of my videos, you guys know I like to use taper blades. I've got a couple new clippers recently. The Saber had the fade blade on it. A lot of the new Gamma clippers come with the fusion blade, and we talk a little bit about it on the videos, but I wanted to make this video to really break down to you guys the difference in the blades, and at the end, I'm also gonna show you guys how to change them out. It's basically the same on most clippers. I'm gonna show you on a couple clippers, and hopefully that'll help you guys change your blades at home. All right, guys, so I'm gonna start off with the OG Andis Master Blade. You guys know everybody is doing the filthy mod right now to be able to put the Master Blade on a different clippers. This is my man, the Barber Phil, over here behind me. This is his Ergo, and it does have the Andis blade on it, guys. So up close, if you guys look, this is the Andis blade. You guys see the bevel right there. This is the taper part. So you guys can see it has this notch, this ridge that is gonna taper down and get skinnier. And it is a little bit thicker up here at the top as well. Let's see if we can get it closer so you guys can really see. So you guys see it is a little bit thicker up there. Now guys, this is the Andis Master Blade, like I said, and this is a taper blade from Stylecraft. So if I put them side by side, you guys can see that the teeth are a little bit longer on the Master Blade. So that's why a lot of people like the Master Blade. That's why people do the Filthy mod. They think it opens up slightly longer. I'm not 100% sure about that, guys. I know Filthy Blends has made some different things to allow you to open it up further. Gamma also introduced the stretch bracket, which does that as well. But just at first glance with these side by side, this blade is a little bit longer, so it is gonna cut a little bit longer. Now guys, these blades are all slightly different. Every brand has their own variation of a taper blade or a fade blade. And like I said, Gamma also has the fusion, and we'll get to that in a second. But guys, more or less, they're gonna be the same. So I have right here, I have a Gamma taper blade, and I have a Babyliss fade blade. I'm gonna try to get them up close where you guys can see. But again, guys, the taper blade has the bevel on the back. The fade blade does not. So you guys see the fade blade is flatter and skinnier at the top. And if you guys really look up close, you can see how skinny the fade blade is versus the taper blade. So basically, guys, what that's gonna do is a taper blade is gonna cut from 1 millimeter closed to 3 millimeters open. So again, guys, closed, lever all the way closed. The cutting blade is right there next to the steel blade. That is gonna cut at 1 millimeter. And if I open it up all the way, guys, it's gonna cut at 3 millimeters. Now this is the Saber, and it has a fade blade on it. So guys, I looked around and I couldn't find the exact measurements, but basically this is gonna cut at 0.5 millimeter. And I would imagine open, the other one is 3 millimeters. So this open will cut at 2.5 millimeters. Now, why is that important? Basically, guys, the reason to have a fade blade is to be able to take that skin line out. A lot of us punch that skin line in with a trimmer, and then our taper blade clipper really isn't close enough to take that line all the way out. Now, if you guys watch my channel, you know I just use a trimmer to take the bald line out and then go to my taper blade closed. But a lot of people enjoy having a fade blade clip. But a lot of people enjoy having a fade blade on their station simply to take the bald guideline out. Now guys, if we talk about the difference in these lengths, without getting too complicated, think about when you attach guards on top of this. So if I cut with the fade blade and I cut open with a 1 guard on it, it's gonna be different than a taper blade with a 1 guard on it open. So it does change slightly. We're talking about 0.5 millimeter, but if you guys really break it down, that is enough to change your fade process and what some of the guards do. So I don't use fade blades much. Like I said, I use a trimmer to take my bald line out. I like the taper blade, but the fade blade primarily is gonna be to close up and take that bald guideline out. Now, another thing about the taper blade, guys, it does have that bevel. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna actually flick out off the head on its own. You're more or less, you're gonna pivot it on that little bend that's in there, and it's gonna flick out. You guys see, that's gonna create that C motion. Now without that, with the fade blade, you're gonna have to do that on your own, or you're gonna do a lot more cutting that is gonna stay close to the head. That is gonna make harder lines and harder lines to take out. That's one reason why I do not use a fade blade very often. And also, like I said, I don't need it for the bald line. So really, guys, it's about figuring out what you're gonna use and adjusting to the lengths that that clipper will do. Now, Gamma has since introduced a fusion blade that, from my understanding, is supposed to be in the middle of that. So you guys see it is flat at the front, and then it has a little bit bigger of a bevel at the back. Now, if I'm being honest, guys, it still doesn't quite act like a taper blade. It does cut really close. Even with it all the way open, it cuts very close. So I still use a combination of both. I do like this because it will take the bald line out, but guys, more or less, the Fusion blade, it's definitely closer to a fade blade than a taper blade. So I still keep the Fusion blade on this X Ergo, and you guys know I have another X Ergo with a taper blade. So to make it make sense for you guys, I'm gonna do my open section with the taper blade. That's gonna give me that 3 millimeters. Then to take the line out, I'm gonna pick up my Fusion blade. I'm gonna take the line out, I'm gonna open it halfway. We'll call that 1.5 millimeters. I can open it all the way and work right underneath the 3 millimeters with the 2.5 millimeters. Now I know a lot of that can be confusing, but more or less the fade blade is just a 0.5 millimeter shorter. Doesn't sound like a big difference, but when we talk about taking out the shaver line, the trimmer line, that's where you're gonna notice that. So your fade blade is gonna have those tighter lengths that are gonna allow you to take those lines out and work in that area. And once you get up to the longer lengths, guys, I like to use the taper blade, like you guys know. Now guys, most of these blades are interchangeable. The master blade does not go straight onto every clipper that you've seen me show, but a lot of the gamma clippers come with the filthy mod, so you can throw that on. The stretch bracket does not have the holes for the Andis blade. But you guys see I have a Stylecraft taper blade on my senior. We have the Babyliss taper blade on this that I used to have on the senior, so it fits as well. These are the same holes, same size. And of course, guys, all of the gamma blades are interchangeable. Gamma Stylecraft, between all the Ergos, the Alpha, the Rebel, the Mythic, the Saber, they will all go on all of those clippers. So I hope that made a little bit of sense to you guys. I don't want to overcomplicate it. When you start talking millimeters, it sounds a little bit complicated, but just understand that the fade blade and the Fusion blade cut a little bit shorter. It will throw off slightly. When you throw guards on there, it's going to throw off slightly the lengths that the guards cut. And as long as you understand the difference there, you're able to use the clipper accordingly and get the best cut out that you guys can. Now, before you guys leave, I'm going to show you how to swap clipper blades out. More or less, guys, it's going to be the same on every clipper. I'm going to do it on my Wall Senior, and I will change something out on one of the gamma clippers so you guys can see that as well. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to change the steel blade, or the blades that we've been talking about in the video. First off, guys, these two screws on top, like I said, most clippers is going to be the same exact way. So you want to use a wide tip screwdriver though, so we don't strip these out. And then we will just break those off. Again, guys, they're not very long screws, so just pop those off. You see the blades already coming off. And there is our Stylecraft taper blade. We'll set that to the side. Let's go ahead and put a wall fade blade on there. Now guys, when I talk about the filthy mod, it's basically this piece right here that has 2 extra holes in it that is going to allow you to put the Andis master blade on there. And I do have a video on that. If you guys want to watch it, click the link up above. And also guys, the stretch bracket, this is the bracket that we're talking about. So we want to put the blade on, hold it down, just get the holes slightly lined up, and we can put those screws back in. So guys, I have the screws slightly tight. I want to close the clipper all the way up. I want to push the blade up. You guys can see the blade is not very zero gap. So now guys, basically, depending on how close you want it, you just want to slide the blade down. I don't do mine zero gap. You guys see, I just pushed it down past the steel blade. So we don't want that. So I'm just going to wiggle it up. I'm just eyeballing it, guys. I just want it close. Can you guys see that? It is close, but not too close. Now, very important, guys, as you tighten it, hold it on both sides. We're just going to snug these down. And of course, guys, we're turning the screw right. So if we don't hold this well, it's going to kick it that way. So I'm going to hold it real strong. I'm going to snug that down. I'm going to pull it back up and look again. Make sure it didn't move. It is slightly off. We're just going to reset it. Now we'll snug this one down. And there you go, guys. Obviously, make sure it opens and closes. You can see how far it is gapped at the top, and we're all set. Now guys, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the Babyliss because it is slightly different how the top acts. So we're just gonna pop this off. I'm gonna show you the top. We're gonna put this blade right back on. So same thing, guys, 2 screws, hold them. They're pretty snug. So I hold the clipper pretty well. Oh, turn it on. So those are loose now. You can see the blade moved. You see how much that's pushing against, guys. It's already pushing that blade off. So I'm gonna hold it with my thumb, take the screw out. Okay. So you guys can see that immediately pushed this up. It is on some springs. I'm gonna take it off because I wanna show you guys. We'll get that hair out real quick. Basically, guys, there are 2 holes right here on the back of the blade. We're gonna align them. I basically put one in and then push it over to where the other one clicks. You guys see now I can push this blade down. Now when I put this blade on, we're gonna hold this flush and then put the screws in. So I'm gonna take this blade, I'm gonna press the cutting blade down. Quite a bit of tension there, guys. It's trying to spring back. We'll put these 2 screws in and set it just the same way. Now something to note here, guys, if you zero gap this too close, it will hit your guards and rattle your guards pretty bad. So you guys can see how gapped that is. I hope you can see on the video, it's gapped, not too close, but just close enough. And we'll actually test it out with a guard. And you guys can see it is not rattling my guard. All right, guys, so last but not least, this is my X-Ergo with the fusion blade. We're just gonna take this off, put it back on, but we're gonna install the stretch bracket while we're here. The same thing, guys, 2 screws here. Go ahead and pop these off. Good idea to keep some air duster on your station. We can just blow all this hair out. Now, guys, the bracket is held on by this screw on the lever. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the lever. It is a little bit longer of a screw. Boom, you guys see it's out. Now we can slide off the original bracket. Boom. All right, so same thing here. We need to align these 2 holes. We'll put one in, press it around till we can get the other one in. You guys see that blade goes down. Now we're gonna slide the stretch bracket on. You guys see there's the stretch bracket. Guys, if you did have the clicks in your lever, there's a little spring and a notch right here. We will take those out. If we have those in, we're not allowed to open the bracket up all the way. So it's really defeating the purpose if you leave the clicks on. So guys, real quick, we will line this up, put it in the hole. Go ahead and put the lever back in. And guys, if you didn't know, how tight you make this screw is how easy it is to move the lever. I wasn't even really aware that this is how springy this was. It's more like the FX where you guys saw on the Senior, this was just stationary and didn't even move. All right, so last but not least, we will take this blade, press that down like we talked about, put the 2 screws back in. Again, guys, just slightly snug, close it up, and you guys can see that's way crooked. So I will just tilt that up. I do want it kind of close, but not close enough to hit the guards. You guys see that gap right there, hopefully. Hold it snug. Crank it all the way down. Again, double check. And you guys see when I tighten that, this side came up a little bit. So I'm gonna loosen that one again. Check it again. I just kind of look down it, guys. I kind of close one eye like I'm looking through a scope or something. Check it, hold it real snug, snug it down. Boom, and there you guys go. Now look at how open that stretch bracket made it. Again, guys, there is the regular one. Can you see the difference in how much open our open section is? All right, guys, so that's it. All right, guys, so that is it for the video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you learned something about the different clipper blades and also how to install them. I know that's something a lot of people have issues with or are afraid to just dig in and do. Most clippers will function just like that. So you'll take those 2 screws out, switch the blade or adjust the blade, put them back in and tighten them up like I showed you. And trimmers, guys, are totally different and every trimmer is different. So I may do a video like this on trimmers. If you guys want me to, drop a comment down below and let me know if that's something that you want to see. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, give it that thumbs up. I really appreciate it, guys. It helps the channel when you guys let it know that you like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe. I got some more tutorials, unboxings, content like this coming soon. As always, I appreciate all of you that watch my channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.